This is the Prenton Pit, where work tomorrow will start on installing some new boardwalk around this whole area. Hard to believe in the almost drought conditions of 2025 how muddy this area can get, but believe me, it does. This might look like just another patch of woodland, but beneath our feet lies the story of an industry that once shaped Prenton itself. In the late 19th and early 20th century, this was the Prenton Brick Tile Works. Local clay was dug out of the ground from here, feeding the brick kilns that helped build the Wirral we see today. The works were known for a tall chimney, once a landmark on the skyline. What was once an industry pit has been reclaimed by nature, becoming ponds, meadows and woodland. But the area to the north is still an electricity substation today, but it's now designated as a site of biological importance, and these volunteers are restoring the reserve, creating boardwalks, clearing scrub and encouraging wildlife. It's hard to imagine the noise of the brick making here when you listen to the bird song. From industry to ecology, the Prenton Clay Pits are a reminder that landscapes can change, but stories remain in the ground beneath us. This reserve shows us two histories, one of hard labour and brick dust, and one of recovery and renewal. Both deserve to be remembered. So tomorrow the friends of the Prenton Pits will be joined by the friends of the Hinckley Heights, who are coming all the way up from Oxfordshire to help install these boardwalks. So if you look on the map, these are marked in blue on the map, but in September 2025 work will start on the gravel paths, also marked in yellow and red on the map, and the purple section will be laid next year in 2026. So we're going to join them tomorrow later in this video for you to see how they got on.
My name is Mike Coffin. I'm lead volunteer at the Prenton Clay Pit. The Prenton Clay Pit is situated next to Prenton Rugby Club and between the rugby club and the railway line and the Prenton estate. At the moment we're trying to turn it into we are turning it into a nature reserve. The rugby club have an agreement with the owners of the land, which is the National Grid, and we're going to, over the next 10 years, turn this into a nature reserve. Lots of fascinating things already been found here. We've got one bug that was found here that hasn't been recorded in Cheshire or Wirral since 1910. We have the dingy skipper butterfly, which is very rare. Also in the ponds, we have the great crested newts. So it is a real area of biodiversity, and as I say, we're trying to turn it, or we are going to be turning it into a nature reserve. To do this, we are looking at several things, or several points. First one is we've got to improve the habitat. So we're digging out the ponds, making them deeper, better for the newts. We are removing some of the vegetation to open up the meadows again, because the meadows encourage the butterflies, and that's one of our key features down here. We also want to increase the experience for humans, so we put in benches, and we're also going to put in paths. Now, certain parts of the path that we're going to put in get very, very wet indeed. So ironically, on a day like this, when the ground is solid and rock hard because it's been so dry, we have been putting in some boardwalks, and over the last week or so we have been introducing boardwalks, and so far we've got about a 15-metre stretch put in. The rest of the part, there's going to be 3 stretches of boardwalk, 2 of them to protect wet areas and 1 to protect some habitat, because we obviously don't want to destroy any habitat. The rest of the path is going to be gravelled and pressed down, so there will be access to the clay pit all winter, all year round. And you can come from the rugby club. If you're visiting, you can walk from the rugby club and you can do a loop around the clay pit any day of the week, any time of year. This all came about because we were trying to make the rugby club more part of the community rather than just being a rugby club. So 2020 we started building a community garden. In 2023 we were approached by National Grid about setting up an agreement to actually turn this into the nature reserve. And through this work with the community, the club has got grants off the government, and we're expanding the club to make it into a community hub where we will have warm hubs in winter, hopefully have the youth clubs going, and just make it a place where the community of the Prenton Dale can actually meet, because they've lost their pub, they've lost their playing fields, there really isn't much on the estate anymore. So we want to become, as a rugby club, more a part of the community, and this nature reserve is just part of it.
Yours side of it and the rugby side of it sort of working together with this. So what I'm meaning is when they play the games up there, do you have, what's the right word, publicity to let people know that this is here, rather than people just go to that?
Yeah.
You know, obviously they've got the gardens up the top, you know, and the signage up there.
Yes, we obviously work, you know, we are part of the rugby club, so we encourage people from the club to get involved. So many of our volunteers who work here also volunteer at the club.
Yeah.
So in fact, at the moment, most of our volunteers are actually club members, with one or two people from organisations that we are connected with. So organisations we work with the Wirral Wildlife, we work with the Wirral Amphibian and Reptile Group, we work with the Butterfly Conservation Society, all about improving the habitat. So we get volunteers from there, but we also get volunteers from the rugby club, and we also get a lot of help from Community Payback, who will come down and do some of the heavy lifting, because a lot of our volunteers are getting a bit older, shall I say.
But perhaps the rugby players could come down and do some of the heavy lifting.
Well, hopefully we encourage them.
It could be part of the training, you know.
Yes,
they
do.
Of the posts
well,
on the board,
hopefully once we get the path in,
yeah.
It can be a pre-training run every week. They can come down and do some laps before they actually get into their training.
Yeah.
We are going to put in sort of distance posts around it, so you know how far. But
that's a good idea, because if the ground was a little bit more smoothed out, like trail runners.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of the path that I've designed, and this was purely by accident, although I could claim it was meant, there will be a loop. The actual loop will be exactly a quarter of a mile.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Within a few feet.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to come down and wants to walk 2 miles, they can just do 8 laps.
I mean, it's like a running track.
Yeah.
You just do so many laps.
8 laps. round.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be more interesting than walking around a running track.
Yeah.
8 times, wouldn't it?
And we also intend, in time, to put in information boards, so people can see what they should expect to see at various times a year. So they're going to be ones that can be changed. So like this month you can see the dingy skipper, the small heath butterfly. This month you can see the meadow brown, that sort of thing. So we just want to make it somewhere that's good for visitors and also good for the wildlife.
This would be a great place here, wouldn't it, to have one of those right by the pond?
Yeah.
As people are walking along, having information. And there's the pond, and this is.
So I did come up with the design, but we're changing that design. So we're probably going to have them made of metal. We'll get them manufactured so they can be exactly the size we want them.
Yeah.
And they want to have a sort of at least interchangeable. And then we also want to have a history board somewhere as well.
Yeah.
Talking about the clay pit, because it's called the Prenton Dale Clay Pit, and it's because it was part of the Prenton Brick Tile Works, which ran from 1920 through to the 70s. So the clay from here was dug out and it was made into bricks, which was used on the local estates.
That the reason it's a natural sort of
dip. It is.
Yeah.
So if we were here, 100 years ago, the surface of the ground would be like 30 foot above us, and it's all been dug out. I've seen photographs when it was first turned back or was first bought by the electricity board or the national grid, and there are rail tracks going through. Interestingly, if you go onto the iNaturalist application, which is something that you use to recognise plants and animals, it gives the name of this area as the Ash House.
Oh, right.
So if you record a newt here and you put it into iNaturalist, the point that comes up on the map is called the Ash House. So I'm assuming that at some point in time there must have been an old building here where they stored the ash. And
Well,
occasionally,
coal
as you're
fires
going
or-
round, you know, you come across old bricks and bits of concrete.
What kind of birds are in here?
We get all the normal birds. We do have a pair of buzzards that are always around.
That's interesting.
Interestingly, we also have a kestrel. Now, you don't really get them mixing normally. The buzzards sort of hang out at the northern end and the kestrel hangs out at the southern end. The kestrel's found a favourite perching spot, which is the flagpole that we put up at the club. He will sit on there and he gets a good view, I think, and can tell whether there's anything else. We've also birds of prey. We've seen sparrowhawks down here, or in the close by. We get all the British bats.
Oh, really?
Birds, as I say, get a lot of finches, tits down here, blackbirds, obviously magpies, because you can't go anywhere without getting those.
Wood pigeons,
Yeah,
jays. What about, there must be a few jays knocking about.
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, one or two jays. Don't see as many as around this area as you think you would. Strangely, you don't see many sparrows over this way, which is really strange. Occasionally get a few starlings come in.
With the kestrel knocking about, then there must be, naturally, there's a lot of little
Small birds.
field mice and
Yes,
things like that.
yes. As you're walking around, you'll often disturb voles. In fact, when the Wirral Amphibian and Reptile Group, they put down some mats to try and encourage, if there was any lizards or grass snakes or slow worms, to under the mats.
Yeah.
They didn't get any reptiles, but when they lifted one up, there was a family of field voles living underneath
Oh,
one,
right.
or babies.
No signs of things like pheasants this way, is it? Not really.
Not really. We do get them up at the club. They sort of come in from the fields on the far side. There is a resident fox here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, prime fox location, isn't it?
Just one?
Well,
You get a whole swarm of them in here.
well, there's one we see often here. She is as cheeky as you can come. She's got no fear. She knows she's faster than we are, so she'll come within 15 yards of you and sit and look and watch what you're doing. And then if you turn and look at her, she will just back off a little bit. She won't go away, she just backs off a little bit. But there are tracks from the woods where the foxes live across the clay pit where they're making their way over to the estate, which is where they go to feed up. One of the volunteers got a lovely photo of her which summed up the issues that we have in places like this. And there's a beautiful picture of the fox, but hanging in the tree back behind her was a poo bag which someone had just thrown into the tree, and it summed up the issues that you have with wildlife trying to coexist with people who don't really care about the environment.
I see that. What kind of butterflies
Butterflies.
do you normally see around
We
here?
get 21 different butterflies down here.
Interesting.
I have only managed to spot 20 of them, so I've never seen a small copper, but the other 20 I've seen. We get one that's rare, which is called the dingy skipper, which is a very small butterfly, and it's brown and white. Beautiful in its own way. But we get all the main ones. We get all the different whites. We get the peacocks, the commas, the red admirals. About 2 weeks ago, there were probably several hundred gatekeeper butterflies. As you walked along the path, they were just taking off everywhere. Early on in the year, it was like that with the dingy skipper, and also the small heath butterfly, which is very beautiful, very bright orange, and it's got a small eye on it, which is what our badge is based on. In different times of year, you get the different butterflies. We are going to develop it in association with the Butterfly Conservation Society and make what's called a butterfly transect, which means a set route is going to be walked every week, and the butterflies on that route will be recorded, and that will go onto a database for the Butterfly Conservation, so they can keep a track of what butterflies are where in the country.
So you all do great work down, all volunteer work down here of the whole group of you. So how can other people locally or anyone on the Wirral that wants to travel here, they come just to visit? That must help just in its
Yes,
own right.
absolutely.
Or come to volunteer themselves?
If you want to come and visit, the best place to park during the day is at the rugby club and just walk down the hill. It's signposted from the rugby club car park. If you come of an evening and the rugby club's closed, you can park at the top gate and walk through. We are situated just off Prenton Dell Road. If you want to find out more about us, we have our own Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Prenton Dell Clay Pit, all one word. You can contact us through there if you want to arrange a tour, and one of us will bring you down and show you what we're doing. If you want to come down and spot some butterflies with us, that's fine. You can contact us through Facebook, or you can contact us through the email address that's given on our Facebook page. If you want to volunteer, brilliant. If you just want to come and visit, also brilliant. But yeah, come down and enjoy it with us.
What kind of skills are useful for a volunteer, like people doing the boardwalks that you've made here, woodworking, or just...
Volunteer-wise, we have room for everyone. Whatever your skill is, we can find something for you to do. Whether it's helping out with like the Facebook pages, whether you're into photography, if you're into crafts, we do school days with schools and we get kids coming down. So any skill that you have, if you're into practical, if you want to do physical work, that's great. But we can do all sorts. We're happy to have anyone. Even if you just want to come and sit on our committee meetings and give us a bit of advice or give your views, that's also fine as well.
Yeah, and all that information's on the Facebook page.
It's all on Facebook.
Update regularly, don't you, on there?
We update about once a week when there's something big to go on.
Yeah.
So it's certain times of year where the butterflies are out. You get loads of bit fixed to the butterflies and birds and things. So, yeah.
So why not come down to the Prenton Clay Pits and see what it is for yourself, how peaceful it can be. And while you're here, bear in mind the work that goes on behind the scenes. You can also support them, go to their Facebook page and follow the page and see what you can do and see if you can come down and help from time to time. Hope to see you down here.